can't believe it's already dark, but today I've travelled home. I've half unpacked my things, including my presents from Christmas, and I've started reading The Serpent and the Dead by Anna Stevens. I'm about halfway through already. I'm really loving it. So similar to The Head of Mama, which I read earlier this year, it follows characters from 4 comic books, and this one follows Lady Sif and also a Valkyrie, head of the Valkyries, Brunhild, I think it's called. Brunhild. And also covers Brunhild's girlfriend, Inga. It's really good so far. It follows 2 very confident warrior women, which I'm really excited about. And it also has a lot of information about grief as well as emotions and friendship. There's a lot of really good themes running throughout the book so far. The main one is grief. So right at the beginning of the book, the Valkyries lose someone, and so that's why Sif is so upset by what's happened. And we see her go through actions that she otherwise wouldn't do because of her grief. We then also see really great friendships between Lady Sif and Brunhild, as well as with Inga and other characters that turn up throughout the story. A lot of platonic friendship shown very strong, but I also love that it's strong friendships even when they're in disagreement with each other and they're going to have to work through it and compromise, which is always good to see, especially between women in books. I also like that the women are allowed to be emotional and feminine, but not without losing the badass warrior kind of thing that they've got going on. And yeah, so far I'm just really enjoying it. I'm now going to go and get something to eat. I've got leftovers from Christmas Day, and I will be reading more this afternoon, but also maybe picking up God of War Ragnarok because I want to carry on the kind of Norse myth stuff that I've got going on here. So yeah. So it's now midday and I'm having a much slower day than I had planned, but I did read more last night. I read more of The Serpent and the Dead by Anna Stevens, and I've also been reading The Warden on my Kindle, who is, I'm not sure who it's by, I'll check that at some other time, but I'm really enjoying that too. I'm nearly 75% of the way through it, and it's about this girl has gone to school and she's from a rich family, but she's been given a job out in the middle of nowhere in the countryside as their warden, which is a witch or wizard who's there to protect the town and help things. And I'm really enjoying it, although I don't one of the things I'm not enjoying is that it kind of goes back and forth between present day and her at school, but all the bits at school are in her lessons, and I don't find it very interesting, anything about that. But I do like the present day storyline. I think it's really interesting what's happening, and there's some twists and turns that are happening as well. And then Serpent and the Dead I'm also still enjoying. We've kind of got to the bulk of the action part, and they're going to be figuring out, I think, what's happening in the next few chapters, so I'm looking forward to reading the rest of this today. But I've got coffee, I had breakfast, I had a shower, if you can tell, and I will be trying to clean the flat today. Hopefully. And maybe taking down the Christmas tree. Maybe that'll be a tomorrow task. I'll find out. Okay, so it's New Year's Eve. I'm already in bed. I'm all cozy and warm. I've been working on a reading reading journal thing, which I might show you if I don't hate it next time I look at it. And I've kind of read a little bit of Witches Unleashed, which I can't actually remember if I spoke about. So the past couple of days have been really slow. I've hit like full fatigue, couldn't really do anything, haven't done anything I was meant to be doing. So I don't think I've vlogged much, if at all, and I definitely don't think I've talked to you guys for a couple of days, so apologies for that. But I'm reading Witches Unleashed, which is a Ghost Rider story with 3 witches. So it's Topaz, Jennifer Kale, and Satana Hellstrom, who's like half demon as well. And this coven has formed, and Jennifer is related cousins with Johnny Blaze, which is Ghost Rider, and they are helping Johnny get one of the last Lucifer segments. I believe the Lucifer segments comes from a comic book that's a few years old now, where he comes back from hell, but then he releases Lucifer in 666 like shards across the world that goes into people, and he has to go and kill them to make Lucifer go back to hell. And every time he kills one of them, the power in the remaining people that have Lucifer in them gets stronger. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm about halfway through. Yeah, I'm 180 pages of a 330 page book. I'm loving it so far. It's really interesting. I've been loving these Aconyte novels that I've been focusing on, like the more magical, supernatural, and also like the godlike Norse mythology kind of stuff, similar to the ones about Thor and Sif and Heimdall. They're just really interesting to read. They're really easy to read. They're like middle grade books, so they're like quite big text, quick reads. And yeah, I've just been like reading through these all the end of this year. I've just been loving them so much. Also, I'm really loving the amount of badass female characters. I've personally read, of the books I've read, I think mostly I've read the ones by women, so I might have gotten lucky, but it's really good seeing this on the page as well as hopefully in comics and TV shows and films. And yeah, so now I'm gonna try and read some more before it gets to New Year's, and then I'm gonna do some New Year's rituals and like watch the fireworks and things like that. But I'm gonna try and stay warm, and I've got loads of snacks here with me to try and like keep myself occupied until midnight. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. I might fall asleep. And then yeah, I'll probably see you guys in the new year. So happy 2023. If you're definitely watching this in 2023, because I'm not uploading this tonight. And yeah, have a good night. Happy New Year! I woke up. I've actually woken up early for once. I worked out for the first time this year. Hopefully that will be a ongoing thing. And I've now curled up under my electric blanket because it is freezing. My heating was not on whilst I was working out because I work out right next to the radiator and it's just too warm. I'm now going to have a kind of lazier morning. I'm going to read some more books. I didn't finish Witches Unleashed yesterday, which I wanted to, but I'm going to try and finish that now, and then I'm going to go on to my January TBR after I finish that, so I will keep you updated. Morning, it's Monday morning. I'm not at work yet until tomorrow, so I've decided to do a lazy morning. I did get up and I did another workout to try and like get into the habit in the new year. And then I finished Witches Unleashed last night and I really loved it, the ending. It was very like a found family trope in the end there. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was very like happy ending. Um, Really positive view on platonic relationships, which I loved. And it was a really fun read. I would definitely recommend it if anyone wants to read like Marvel novels. Also loved that the characters were like characters that I didn't really know. I obviously know Ghost Rider, but the witches, I'd never heard of them before. So it was really fun read. And then as my first book on my January TBR, I've started reading I'd Tell You I Love You, but then I'd Have to Kill You, which is like a spy school novel that I know is really popular when I was growing up, and I definitely bought this years ago. It's just been on my shelf at my dad's house for years, and I finally got all my books in this flat. So I was like, oh, well, I'll put it on my TBR backlist to read because I do want to read it. I think Ali Carter, the author, has recently brought out a book or is coming out with a book in 2023 that's like an adult spy novel. So I want to get my hands on that because it's been really hyped. So I wanted to read this one because I knew I had it on my shelf and I wanted to see like what her earlier work was like. And also I've heard really good things about this series. Like I still hear people talking about it to this day. It's good so far. I'm about 60 pages in. We've been introduced to the main characters who are all very lovely. It took me out a little bit. It's a school set in America. And like, I don't know about you, but like just seeing the front and like the talk about uniforms, I expected it to be like a British MI5 spy school. Like, what was that? What was that TV show that used to be on BBC? I expected it to be something like that, but it's not. It's an American spy school. They talk about like Kennedy and assassinations and Lincoln, and I don't know. It took me out, but then like I really appreciate the difference is there. The characters are all really fun. Our main character is like writing her point of view, and then her friends and like her mum is the headmistress and things like that. I don't know what the story is going to be yet. It's not got into that. We've kind of got the introduction, the start of the school year. It feels very like boarding school YA books that I read when I was younger as well, so I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, one thing I would say is like it's meant to be a romance, and the only man that has been introduced is a teacher, so I'm a bit worried about that. But maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully it is someone we meet along the way. Also, excuse me looking rough. I'm having an allergic reaction, so my eyes are all puffy, and I finally started breaking out from all of the trash food I was eating over Christmas. So I'm going makeupless today to try and like calm it down, and hopefully by the time I'm working tomorrow it'll be better. But yeah, this morning I'm just kind of read this. I also want to do some more filming and taking photos so that I can like get things in the calendar on YouTube and on the blog. Hopefully in the next few weeks, just try and set myself up for the year right, especially as I'm back at work from tomorrow all week. So it's Tuesday morning, it's the first day back at work, and I did get up. I got up, I did 10 minutes of my workout, and then I just felt so tired, and it's cold, and my nose has started running. So I've crawled back into bed, and I'm going to read some more of my book. I've read about half this book in a day. It's a really easy read. It's really fun and interesting. The romance is not with the teacher, thankfully. So good. All the characters are really like different. All the girls are very different, but they all have their like strong skill sets, and they're all like one of the things I'm liking is like there's nothing, the flaws aren't about how they look. So yeah, I'm overly enjoying it. I'm still half asleep, so I don't know if any of that made sense, but I'll probably catch up with you again this afternoon, probably after work. I probably won't be doing a lot. I need to focus on work first day back. Wish me luck. Okay, super quick update whilst I've got my aligners out for breakfast. I've been reading The Stolen Heir for the past few days, as you've probably been able to tell. Between work and having brand new, first time ever Smile Direct Club aligners, I've been in so much pain that I can't talk properly in them. I think I'm actually talking weird now because my tongue has gotten used to trying not to be cut on the side of my aligner. And I have been trying to read this, but it's been slow going because I have not been able to focus on anything apart from the pain in my tongue. But I am loving The Stolen Heir. It's like a road trip kind of vibe. Like, they picked up Surin, by they I mean Oak and Turnen, and then they've been travelling across the country basically, up to the Court of Teeth, and yeah, it's like very like buddy road trip, like very, I would say, like classic fantasy, like getting the fellowship together and they all learn to like love each other as it goes on, and there's some like tensions and stuff between them, and they don't like each other but they do like each other really, and they want to protect each other. It's all very cute. The main thing for me is there's kind of two reasons why they're going on the road trip, which makes complete sense for Oak. I don't know if it makes sense for Ren. Like, she just seems to be there for the ride. Like, she just wants to get her back on her mum. Or Lady Nor, not her actual mum, sorry. Or at least she doesn't see her as the mum. And yeah, but other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I've been reading it as fast as I can. The only reason I haven't finished it, I think, so quickly is because I've been sleeping a lot, because when I'm sleeping I'm not in pain, and to work. Like, I've gone back to work. I thought I was going to be really productive. Like, in the new year, I was like, I'm going to get so much done. I'm going to plan out my weeks. And then I started work, and then immediately after I finished work the first day, I was like, I'm going to go to bed. I think I was in bed by like 9 o'clock. Also, that was the day I first got my aligners, which was such a bad plan. I definitely recommend, it is painful, but I'm assuming it's going to be worth it. Definitely, if you're going to get Smile Direct Club or any kind of Invisalign system, get them before the weekend, not before you have to like go into work and talk to people, because it's not been fun at all. I've been planning my meals around important meetings so that I can take my aligners out and talk properly. And I can't even talk properly anymore because my tongue hurts all the time. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how it all goes. And yeah, I'm going to continue reading this. I'm hopefully going to finish it today. It's Saturday, so I've got plenty of time. I have no work to make excuses on. And I'm already, you can kind of see, I'm not using a bookmark, I'm using, I know it's probably bad, but you can see I've only got that little bit left to go. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day, and I will catch up with you again later. Or if I don't manage to film next time I have my liners out, it'll probably be text on screen. But yeah.